Hello, and welcome to Variyoga with Andrea. I'm so glad you've tuned in. Maybe you've even taped the show and you've come home from work, or you're just early in the morning. I know that I hear from you viewers that some of you, every morning you get up at 6:30 with me, so thank you. And I'm really glad that you take time for yourself, that you make yoga a priority. That's one of the words of the week. And Bryan makes it a priority sometimes to come up here and be on my show. He gives,
Absolutely.
I love it. He drives up from Fort Smith early in the morning, and he doesn't do any of his private sessions down in Fort Smith because he likes being on the show and being here with you.
And I really believe in the benefits of yoga and how it can help you wherever you are, because we practice Variyoga, which varies for the practitioner. Whatever your needs are, you take it only as far as is right for you. You don't have to be able to bend into a pretzel to be able to do yoga.
I know so many of you people stop me and I could never do that because it's just you have to be so flexible. But then they say, well, then I watch your show and lots of times I can just do what you're doing. I said, good, that's where you start. You know? So let's start. Join us. And now we have for years sat on the floor cross-legged, but we want to show you another way. So what are you going to do? Show them. They can sit up higher on a blanket. If you have a pillow near you, if you have pillows on your couch, you can put them underneath your knees, underneath your thighs, so you can adjust here to make it work for you. And we're going to start out in a cross-legged called Sukhasana, easy cross-legged.
Sukha means easy.
Yeah, and this is a way that you can then sit, so you distribute your weight forward and back and equal in the pelvis. And then
So it's important to have your hips elevated. If your hips are on the floor, if you're sitting on the floor and your knees are high, the low back has to work really hard to keep you lifted up. So if you elevate your sitting bones, it makes a difference. Keeps your back from becoming fatigued. That's nice. Yeah, so try that to sit up a couple pillows or sit at the edge of your couch. Rest your hands on your thighs. Let the weight of your hands press, remind the legs to release and to relax. Close your eyes for a moment. Bring your awareness inward, feeling the breath come in and out through your nose. Nice full inhales and exhales. The breath is the first defense against stress. So let's just tap into that breath. Let your mind ride on the waves of your breath. The music, the sweet music that Bryan has created, is all new songs for our show and for you. Then you can open your eyes. And we're going to turn our heads. We're going to just look to your right. We're going to mirror you. Turn your head, turn it away from the television. Keep your shoulders right over your hips. And then just turn gently back to face forward. Good, and then go the other way. And back to center. Good, and let's go the other way again. Turn the other direction. And back to center. Okay, one more time. We'll do something now for our shoulders. Come back to center. As you inhale, lift the head of your arm bones towards your ears, disappearing your neck. And then exhale, release down. Inhale, lift up again. And exhale, release down. Good, one more time. Inhale, lift up. And release. Good. Let's bring the arms out in front of you. Lift your right arm higher than your left. Cross at your elbows and just see if you can bring your arms together. Now, another way to do it is the way Bryan's doing it here is a self-hug. Good. And then we lift the elbows up and pull them back down as you exhale. Round a little bit in your shoulders. Beautiful. Then up again. Either way you do this, it's a great stretch for the upper back.
Upper back, shoulder blades, the trapezius and the rhomboids. Good. And then release, round again, and then release and sit up nice and straight. Good. So I'm gonna have Bryan lead us all in a little bit of footwork and hip openers, and you do that for us?
Sure.
Great.
First, we're going to take our legs out in front of us.
Yeah. Release
Now,
those
they will cross
knees.
for just a few moments, so shake your legs out. Kind of tap the back of your legs on the floor. This helps increase blood flow and circulation to your legs. Now, Sanskrit is the language of yoga, and most of the things that we do have Sanskrit names, and we don't use them all the time because it shouldn't be intimidating, but it's nice to know. It's like, French is ballet and Sanskrit is yoga. So we're going to do bala, which means child, dolika, which means hammock, and asana, which means pose. So bala dolikasana, you draw your right up. Remember, we're mirror imaging. You draw your right foot up, your left hand is holding the foot, and your right hand is holding your knee, and you rock a little
So-
side to side.
Like cradle.
That's right, and you may
Baby
come
cradle.
forward and backward. Now, if you have a little more range, feel free to put your foot in the bend of your elbow. That's a little deeper.
Try if I can-
And then there is another one that's even deeper than that, and that's to take your arms under your leg and bring it up like this. Keeps the foot higher. It's a strong
You
stretch.
can spread those toes, Brian. Wow. Look at that little toe.
Yoga. It helps. Yoga
I
toes.
bet you could play the piano with those toes.
I can, chopsticks at least, yeah.
So this is a good stretch for our hips, huh? For the right hip.
That's right.
Yeah. And we're doing this because then it just loosens our hip before we go into the foot massage?
That's right.
Okay, good.
But let's do both sides. So take your right leg down now.
Okay.
Something else is important. As you draw your left leg up, remember we're mirror imaging. Your hand holds your knee and the other hand holds the foot, holding the heel. So if you pull the outside of your foot, then you can overstretch your ankle, and that can cause a loose joint, like a sprain. So be careful to keep the foot perpendicular to the shin and not pull it out of place, but keep it neutral. And the same thing on this side. If you want to put your foot in the bend of your elbow, you may do that. If you want to bring your arms under your leg, you may do that.
Very
If you
yoga.
want to put your leg behind your head, it's a different class.
That's a different TV show.
It is.
Yeah.
Good.
It's not one that we do on the show.
We don't put the leg behind the head on this show.
No.
Okay, now we're going to take your left leg back down. You know what? We got rid of blocks and we need one.
Oh.
So I'm going to go get blocks.
You go get a block. That block is for your knees. Oh. One for each of us, or just? Okay. Thank
If you need one.
Well, the other thing you can use if you don't have a block is a pillow or a blanket. Fold
That's
up
right,
a
we could have
blanket.
used that.
Oh well. Okay, so let's.
Now we have the prop. So you're going to take your right leg back up, and you want to be able to get to it easily. So you can use the block or a blanket or a pillow
I'll use
to
both.
prop your leg up so that your inner thigh doesn't get tired. So you're kind of propping it up. Now we're going to work on the foot.
Okay,
So with one hand, you draw the toes toward you. You're stretching the top of the toe knuckles,
that feels really good.
and then push away. Draw toward you.
Now we have this. If you go to aryoga.com, we have this flyer under the news section. You go to the homepage, and then you'll see a news section. And there's a printable, what they call a PDF flyer. They can print
Right.
off, and they get the whole sequence. You just go to our website and print it off. Is it also on the Variyoga site too?
Not yet, but
Not
it
yet.
will be.
It will be. So it's on the AR Yoga site.
Right now it is. Let's go to the big toe. Rotate, twist, and pull. You be honorable to your own foot and your own toes. Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Move the toe around.
I like
and then
to
move
just
on.
crank them.
Go to the next one.
Feels good. This is why I always talk about giving yourself going to get a pedicure and taking care of your feet, having them do your toenails. They don't have to color. You can just have them cut and trimmed, and then they massage your feet and they massage the bottom and the top, and so you're
Now,
giving yourself.
after you have all the toes rotated, twisted, and pulled, and kind of
Uh-huh.
space a little bit, get blood flow to them. Now here's the fun part, as if that other wasn't. This is all good, all fun. Interlace your fingers in between your toes. Ah,
Well, this is to show you how far can you
that's right.
push your fingers down.
Now you know why
Ooh.
my toes are so far apart. I keep them stretched out. That is so good for the circulation in your foot.
Yes.
Now, you take the end of your foot and you turn it. The heel stays stationary, and you're moving the end of your foot. Breathe. Good.
Yeah, oh, I like that.
Relax your shoulders down. Sometimes when we're working on one part of the body, we forget about another, and we end up with all this tension. So let those shoulders relax down. So move the end of your foot.
So I remember one time, several years ago, someone said, "Oh, I watched the show where you had us do foot stuff, and you gave me permission to massage my feet." And so I thought, well, sure. So I'm giving
Here
you
it is
permission.
again.
Here it is again. Massage your feet.
And now spread your fingers and create a little space. And I love this.
You can do that.
Now fingers go on the top of the foot and thumbs on the bottom, and squeeze in between your toes.
Oh, yeah.
We have all of these reflex points, reflexology points in our foot, and you stimulate so many things when you work with your foot. In fact, the bottom of the foot is like a map to the body, from the end of the toes, the sinus, the brain, and all the way down to the heel, which is the base of the torso. And your heart and lungs and stomach and liver are all stimulated through the sole of the foot.
Yeah, I think more and more people are seeing that, and you see like pictures, drawings. You've probably seen them, like you can even get a pair of socks that way, but drawings of the bottom of the foot that show what organs and are
Right,
related.
Or stimulated through the different pressure.
Because what's it called? Reflexology.
Reflexology.
Yeah.
Squeeze your heel. Good. And now, let's take the knuckles and rub from the base of the toes to the heel and back. I talk about my mom a lot because she's such a wonderful example of how yoga benefits. She had plantar fasciitis and heel spurs. And I taught her this sequence. And after a few months of doing this, she reduced the severity of both and then eventually got rid of them both.
Wow.
With the knuckles wrapped the bottom of the foot.
Does she still do the foot?
She still does the footwork, yes.
That's great. Yeah. So hopefully take some time right now, even if you just tuned in, slip those socks off and just give your feet a little bit of tap, a little bit of massage.
Now, with loose wrists and happy hands, slap your foot.
Create stimulation.
That's right.
Down there to your toes.
Now, this next part seems to be a challenge for some people. It takes a while to figure it out. You hold your leg above the ankle, and you're not doing any work with the foot of the leg, but the hands are shaking it and the foot's loose. You shake it out, shake it out. Good.
Yeah.
And now, take that foot down. You might look at the color, because the color of your foot changes after you've worked on it. It gets lighter. Usually you've got more blood flow in it. Let's take the left leg up now. And remember, we're mirror imaging. So we've already awakened the hip. So you may use the block or the blanket or whatever you have there, pillows, to prop the leg up, but that just kind of helps support your hip. And now you move the toes back and forth. Draw them in and push them away.
That's great.
You can really do any of these pieces in any order that you want to on the feet. But it's good to soften the toes before you put your fingers through them. So that's why we're doing a little bit of awakening for the feet before we interlace the fingers. But if you stand on your feet all day,
I know.
it's such a wonderful thing to do for yourself in the evening when you get off your feet.
Like hairdressers.
Dentists.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Walmart clerks.
Yes. Yeah, the greeters at the door, even clerks, you're right, yeah.
And roll the
Yeah.
toe.
Turn and twist. Yeah. Well, most people don't stand all day. They sit, and that's why we do a lot of these poses for them, for twisting and opening the back and opening the hips. But if you do stand all day, hairdressers especially, they're notorious for having their feet hurt and their legs hurt. Just take time for yourself and do a little foot massage. Like we said, if you see the show and just getting tuned in and you think, oh, I've missed most of it or half of it, then just download the flyer from the website.
From the website, right. Yeah. Now, after you have all the toes moved around, now interlace your fingers in between your toes. And then move the end of the foot.
And this is good, too, if you're tuning in early in the morning and before you go off to work, just do some foot massage.
Did you know one of the primary causes of shuffling in our senior years is from loss of mobility in the middle of the foot?
Middle of the foot.
In the middle of the foot, the long bones, the metatarsals. When those joints get stiff and tight, then we can't balance as well, and so we have to shuffle along. So when we do this type of footwork, moving the foot around, it helps keep those joints supple and movable and helps us retain balance very late in life. So that's a good thing for us at all ages.
Very good thing, yes.
And now once again, with the sound effect.
Yep.
And fingers on the top of the foot, thumbs on the bottom.
That feels
Squeeze
so
in between
good. I hope
your
you're joining
toes.
us here. I'll be giving yourself your own little special foot massage. Feels so wonderful. You know, and like some people, oh, I've had my feet in my shoes all day. I don't want to touch them. Well, you know, just get one of those little handy little hand wipe things. You know, you just wipe your feet. Yeah. We have some at the yoga center that have a lavender scent to them.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah.
And then squeeze your heel. You know, this is also good to do with a little lotion. Maybe after a shower, come home and shower and clean up from the day, and then put some lotion on your feet. Ah, heaven for your feet.
How come we didn't put any lotion for?
Because we'll slip off the mat. So now, with the knuckles, rub from the toes to the heel. Notice I'm pulling my toes back, so I'm stretching. Now the plantar fascia, that's the fascia that's along the bottom of the foot. That's what gets tight on it. So when you do things like this, you're stretching that plantar fascia. Which one of the reasons it gives us pain is because it shortens. It gets shorter and tight.
Yeah, it almost feels like there's a knife. If you've ever had plantar fasciitis, it feels like there's a knife going up your heel when you stand on it. Oh, it's terrible. I've had it before and gotten rid of it. Okay. Good. Well, you know, I was reading recently, Bryan, in a magazine about yoga and the benefits of yoga and how it's in the deep stretches of yoga help lubricate the joints, you know, keep it from getting, like you're saying, from even the foot, from getting stiff and having to shuffle.
Now loose wrists, happy hands. We
yeah,
slap the foot. Remember, the hands have to be happy.
Are you happy? I'm happy.
I'm happy. And
Muy
now for
contenta.
that fun little Spanish. Shake the foot out. Remember, it's your hands doing the work and not your foot, because I see people trying to shake that foot out. It's just not working. You have to shake it out.
Like that pencil trick, you know,
That's
just
right.
shake the pencil.
It looks all rubbery.
All right. Yeah. Oh, that's
That felt good.
nice. So we have our straps near us. And so we forgot to tell you this, but if you do this show with us, get a belt. It could be a belt off your bathrobe. It could be an old necktie. Or if you have a yoga strap. Now, you know, this show's been on the air for 12 years, and I know a lot of you pre-tape the show, or you get up and you watch, so you have your props, which is awesome. You've got maybe your block already, you got your mat, you got your belt. You never know with our shows, you just always have to have your props ready. So we're gonna do a little strap work, and this is a pose called seated wide angle, but we're gonna do a half of it. So what I want you to do is, we'll mirror you. So take your right knee, bring it in, and then drop it out to the side and slide your left leg out. So we're good here, good. So you're doing it, full poses like this, legs wide apart, but we're gonna just bring the foot in. Yeah, all right. And now, take your strap and turn your torsos towards your straight leg foot, and lasso that strap around that foot. Yeah, good. Sit up nice and straight, and as you pull on the strap, pull against the ball of the foot. You don't want to have it on the arch of the foot because that's a soft tissue and not a good place to pull against. Weight is in, you put more weight into the ball of your foot or the heel. So let's do that. And when you pull back on the strap, make sure not to let the heel lift up off the floor. It just stays anchored nicely down on the floor. Turn your torso to face your straight leg, and then open up your strap a little bit, bend the elbows, that's it. And we're gonna fold forward up on that straight leg. Oh, breathe. And you just go modify, that's why we have a strap. Some of you I know have been practicing with us for a while. You can reach those toes with your opposite hand. So you take your right hand and grab your left toes. Yes. Sit up nice and straight, keep a nice long spine. Feel the stretch. You feel it in your back of your leg?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good. All right, and then come back up. And then we're gonna do a little twist here. Keep the strap around your foot. And what you do is hold the strap with your left hand. And then turn your torsos to the right. So you open up. We're gonna just bend that elbow on the left side. And then reach the right arm overhead. Just reach up, hold up there. Keep that space in the right side of your torso. Look up towards the ceiling. Breathe, just holding this. And then we're gonna turn and twist towards those left toes. Good. And we're gonna open up again. Inhale. And exhale. And again. And one more time. Good. And all the way back up. Bend that knee. Let's change sides. So just bend the straight leg, bring your foot into the center and straighten out the other leg. There you go. Strap around that foot. First twist towards your straight leg.
Oh, one of the variations, if this is too much for your inner thigh,
Oh, thank
you can
you.
always prop the leg up.
Props are good. That's what we say. So saying, you know, if you've been doing this show with us for a while, you know to have your strap, your blanket, your block, your mat. All right. So sit up nice and straight and just fold to that straight leg. Arms out to the side, elbows bend. Lead with your heart. And breathe. Feel the stretch down the back of your leg. Ardha Upavishta Konasana.
Because Ardha means half, Upavishta means seated, Kona means angle, and Asana means pose.
Yes. And these are variations on the pose. That's the thing about Variyoga. We vary classical poses to make them accessible to you, plus change them up a little bit. So we're going to turn now to the left. Sweep the left arm up. And exhale, turn and reach for your right toes. Inhale, open up. Exhale. And again. These nice, slow reaches that we're extending through the arms. We're giving some movement for the shoulder and come all the way up. And let's have you lead them in the Janu Shirshasana.
Right. Let's just bring that right leg right around to the front.
Great.
This is going to do a little more shoulder work. But there's a less of an angle between your left knee and your right leg.
Yes.
So your right leg is straight forward. We're going to fold forward over the leg. I like to do a little strap trick where you sweep, or where you wrap your hands around so the strap is going around the outside of your wrist.
That's good.
Of your hands. It gives you a better grip on the strap without fatiguing your hands. And you draw the ball of the foot in, you push through your heel, lift up so the heart lifts up. And this may be plenty of stretch for most people. But if you want to take it further, take your elbows apart and fold over.
Good. Now if I can reach further down, just walk my hands down.
Walk your hands down. Some may just hold the foot.
Okay.
But don't get rid of your strap because we're going to be doing some shoulder work with it.
Nice. Ooh.
This is Janu, which means knee, Shirsha, which means head,
Yeah.
and Asana, which means pose. Janu Shirshasana.
You've noticed sometimes on our shows that we'll either move from pose to pose, breath to breath, and other times we'll hold it. So that's the other thing about yoga too, is that they vary it. Sometimes we want you to hold the pose, so you deepen into the stretch. Other times we want you to move with your breath.
You know, each of those approaches have different results in the body. So we'll talk about that again in just a moment. I want you to take both sides of the strap or whatever you're using and make sure that they're even, the same distance from your foot. If it's too short of a strap, this is going to be a little challenging. So it needs to be a little longer strap. You take it down the right side of your body, but bend your knee so that you can get a little further back. Now your left hand, remember we're a mirror image, your left hand reaches around and holds the strap, and then you begin to straighten your leg out, and that left arm pulls your spine up, and you lift up, you're getting a hamstring stretch, and it's a back opener too.
Yes,
now
it
we're
is.
going to twist. So take your right hand over to your left knee, lift up your heart, and then draw the left shoulder back as you twist. Make sure your neck is not in a bind, it's following the twist.
That's great.
Good. On your next inhale, come back around. Now we take both sides of the strap over the top of your left thigh. You bend the knee again so that you've got a little more room for the strap to come around. Right hand goes around behind and holds both sides of the strap. Lift up and straighten your leg out.
Enjoying this beautiful music too. This has been created by Bryan, and it's a nice background. And you can just turn up the volume a little bit and listen to the music and do your practice with us.
Now take your left hand either to the strap or to your right leg, and then draw your right shoulder back. Just a moment ago, we were talking about the difference between moving through poses constantly or holding poses. When you move through a pose, come back around. When you move from pose to pose, that affects your muscles and it affects your blood flow. Changing now, put your left foot in the strap and bring your right foot to the inside of your thigh. But when you hold poses, you're affecting connective tissue, the fascia,
Yes.
the connective tendons stretch. So 60 seconds or longer helps to stretch our connective tissue, but a fast movement just affects the muscles and circulatory system.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good to know. So if you really want to stretch deep, you want to hold it for longer.
But always be respectful. Don't stretch into pain. Don't stretch into discomfort or anything that feels pinching. Just to the edge of stretch.
So I hope you're taking time for yourself. This show has really gone fast. We just have a few more moves for you, and then we'll have to be saying goodbye. It's amazing. Until next time. You know, we really enjoy you tuning in. And so what we twist which way?
Now take the strap down the
Bend the
left
knee.
side of your body first. Even out the strap. You can bend the knee, take your right hand behind and hold both sides of the strap. Then you straighten your leg out again. Your left hand comes to your right knee. Take your right shoulder back as you twist.
You know, it's amazing because when you do bend the knee first and then grab it and then straighten, it really does.
That really enhances the stretch, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And you can hold the strap as Andrea's doing, or you can take your hand over to the knee, like I'm doing.
Oh,
It's
like this.
all right. It's either way is fine.
Okay.
Breathe. Let's come back around to center. Now take both sides of the strap over the top of your right thigh. You bend the knee again. Your left hand goes behind and holds the strap. And then straighten the leg as best you can. Oh, that lifts us up.
I love
doesn't
it.
And you may either hold the strap with your left
you
hand or
take
the
it-
outside of your leg. Draw your right Now I'm backwards. Your left shoulder back.
Just turn away from your straight leg.
That's right. Or left.
Good. All right.
And then back around. More forward fold.
Yeah. How about if we do it with both legs straight? Just bend both your legs. And then I like this is, Bryan, your knees are bent first, then you can slowly straighten and fold forward over your thighs into the seated forward bend called Paschimottanasana. You can go as far as your spine will allow without straining the back. If you practice a long time, you get a big forward fold like Bryan's doing. If it's harsh on your back, sit up straighter like I'm doing. Remember, vary it so it works for you. Good. And then come back up slowly. Let's just close here. That's what I'm saying. It's gone so fast. It's incredible. Can you believe that? This is just what, 4 sequences, or not even 4, just 3 today. But cross your legs again. We'll do a couple things for our arms. I just want you to take your arms up just for a minute, stretch here with us, and interlace your fingers. Push the heels of the hands towards the ceiling. And then release down. Roll the shoulder blades up towards the head of the arm bones towards your ears. And then release down. What is the thing we say at the end of class, Bryan? I love the way you say it. The translation for namaste, the simple one, is?
Namas means I bow, and stay means to you. So we bow to you, we honor you.
And we do that.
With the gesture of the palms together, indicating union within the body.
So from our hearts to yours, or to bow to the divine and the light within you, namaste. Thank you for joining us.
Variyoga with Andrea is underwritten by the Arkansas Yoga Center. This eco-friendly facility will delight your senses and relax your body and mind. We offer classes in yoga, tai chi, meditation, and yoga teacher training. Our qualified instructors ensure that everyone is safe and comfortable at all class levels. Centrally located in Fayetteville next to Woodland Junior High. Visit us at the Arkansas Yoga Center to renew, refresh, and savor the stillness.
Yoga with Andrea is sponsored in part by Northwest Health System.